Time is a precious commodity. People use it for all sorts of things. Some use it for work and other responsibilities. Me? I'm going to use time to talk to some really awesome people. I'm Sergio Barrera, and this is A Few Minutes With. Good evening and welcome everyone to this week's episode of A Few Minutes With. I am Sergio Barrera, and as always, I am joined by the amazing Susan Chisholm.
Hello.
Susan, it's that time again.
It is. I'm so excited. This is going to be a great show.
I am too, especially since we're going to do it in 5 minutes. Just kidding.
Woo!
No, not 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes. We are going to have some fun, though. It is going to be a fun day. How you been? It's been a week.
It's been a week.
No, I mean, It's been a week since we did the show.
No, I know, but it's been a week.
It's also been a week.
It's been all right. We got to do some pretty cool stuff this past week. Getting ready to go off of orientation Monday.
Oh.
So I'm gonna be all by myself.
You're becoming official.
I'm scared to death. It's gonna be great. But also, I'm nervous.
Well, yeah. It's going to be fine, though. You're going to be awesome as you continue your nursing journey.
Thank you.
For me, I am in week 3 of 6 here in Houston, Texas, but nothing can stop this podcast train. About to finish my first of 2 classes I'm teaching here tomorrow, so that's been fun. Nice. And amidst it all, still doing the podcasting stuff and stuff like that. So want to say welcome to those who have joined us. Susan, we have changed platforms.
We did.
Tell the folks what we've done now. We used to be on Twitch, and we thank Twitch so much for all the time that we got to be on their platform. But talk a little bit about what we've done and what the heck's going on.
So we transitioned off of broadcasting live on Twitch to broadcasting on Facebook Live and also YouTube Live. That allows us to kind of keep a running record, if you will. Like, we don't have to manually grab the episode and transfer it to these other platforms as we have been doing. This allows us to straight upload them. They're automatically saved, so it's actually a time saver for us. It's way less of a headache for us. And honestly, I feel like we're going to reach more people. I'm hoping we're going to reach more people at least.
Sure.
I feel like we are, though, because you're pretty popular on Facebook. You got a bunch of followers.
It's actually the peanut butter cookies. It's not me. So
but
the peanut butter saga continues. Peanut butter cookies.
I know. I saw your cookie today, and I was super envious. I was like, I like that. I like the misshapen ones, but I especially like the ones that I like the ones that get stuck to the side of the pan when they're cooking.
Yeah, the flat
and then,
edge cookie.
They like the Salvador Dali cookies.
Yeah. Well, and it crisps up, like that edge was totally. Yes. I should have loaded a picture so I can show people what we're talking about. But that's going to be the cool part about now broadcasting on Facebook Live, also on YouTube, is the fact that we can actually say, because for tonight and for the foreseeable future, we'll be live on YouTube. So we encourage you to, whether it's right now or soon after the show, go on over to our YouTube channel, A Few Minutes With. You can see our posting on our Facebook page for A Few Minutes With. And we really, really want to build our subscriber base there. But we will continue to use Facebook as a platform as well. And so, Susan, I know yes. We're not only on YouTube and Facebook Live tonight, we're actually on both of our channels as well, both of our personal pages.
Yes.
And I'm seeing a viewer count climb. And so thank you to those of you who are with us tonight. I want to send a shout out to DrewBoy22. Here's what I didn't think about by changing platforms. We're going to have to kind of guess people's handles.
Get used to them. Is this?
Yeah.
I think I have an idea of who this might be.
Right.
Just
on the count of
guess,
three, count of 3, say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do the Drew.
Do the Drew.
Yeah.
We're hoping
we're right.
Going to say something. I was going to say something completely different because I was trying to be funny, but then I was like, I better not.
Oh no.
I was going to be
let's not scare people off. But but yeah, so yeah, it's going to be fun to be broadcasting on Facebook Live and on our YouTube channel. Now, if you go to our YouTube
Yes.
channel, there are 7 episodes loaded from way back when. We do have some work to do in that we need to transport a lot of our content from our streaming platform that we use. Shout out to StreamYard. And we're going to load all the episodes that we've done over the last several months very soon, over the next few weeks. So, but we will be broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook going forward. So, yeah, we get right. It is just. Oh no, he's also on Facebook. So he's there. He's Andrew Harris. I feel like we've unmasked Batman. So
no, it's okay. Gator, I still believe in you. Well. Gator.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. People are migrating to us. They said they'd follow, and here they are. So, but yeah. So before we have a guest this week, by the way.
I know. I'm so excited.
We have been negotiating with her agent for a few weeks now, and we finally got a chance to welcome a wonderful, wonderful person who you'll all meet very soon.
Yes,
but before we do that, we have some things we're going to talk about next week. Which next week's episode is going to be Lord of the Rings based.
It's going to be so
but also,
awesome.
I'm going to say this just to see your reaction, and we'll talk about it next week. Foam party. That's all I'll say. So
we'll describe that as well.
Yeah, we have so much to talk about because you ventured forth to Houston last weekend, and we explored this town and found some funky stuff. So
there are some neat nooks and crannies.
Yeah,
I know that there's more too because I spoke to my dear sister, who gave me a couple of ideas.
Yeah. Who we need to have on the show because she is an artist as well. So
she is on the guest list.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, you and I, we love media.
We love media.
We actually, when we get to hang out, we curate TikToks that we then spend a lot of time watching and laughing together.
Yes.
And I want to start before we get to our guest. I want to play a TikTok. And so, if I may, and yes, Janine, welcome. We are definitely tracking Facebook comments. We see it all. We see all.
I see you.
That got creepy. All right, so yeah, before we get to our guest, I want to share a video. So give me a moment. I'm going to bring this up, and here we go. All right. So, in that collage of images is the work of a very dear friend and a very special guest. So, everyone, please welcome to tonight's episode of A Few Minutes with artist, friend, wonderful person, Dallas Reams.
Hey.
Welcome. I forgot you can hear me now. I'm just like, hi.
Absolutely.
Hello.
So welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to be here tonight. I kept saying we were going to make it happen, and I was not going to fail again. I'm here.
No, we're very happy about that. And we actually, because people are hearing kind of both sides of the conversation. So, but you've made time. You're actually out with family and stuff. So thank you. Thank you for making time for us.
Please, I was like, I'm taking a road trip, but I will be there.
Yeah. Well, we greatly appreciate that. So as we get started, when I have guests, I really just want to hear from them, talk about their passion, right? And for you, it's art. So I kind of want to get started with, how did this journey begin for you? What kind of mediums did you explore? Where did this all start?
Honestly, it started, my dad, he's a really good artist. And he is a D&D. He does Lord of the Rings. He taught me how to draw. The first thing we drew were like ogres and orcs, and just because that's all he knew how to draw. That's where I started, and I fell in love with it. And in art class, I never got to take like a professional, but in art class, like in math, they were like, "You're terrible, you need help." In English, you need a little help. But in art, they were like, "Wow, you're really great at this." And I was like, "I love art. This is my calling."
No,
So I that's probably where it started.
Got it. Obviously, you work a lot in painting. That seems to be your main medium. But are there other artistic mediums that you've dabbled in, or that you actually do?
Absolutely. I started with just pencil, and then pen, and then charcoal, and then pastels. And I also, like, before digital art existed, I used to use the paint program. And I would hand draw with the pixels. It's amazing what you can do now. I just imagine if I had that technology when I was younger and not the paint program.
Yeah.
I was sitting there with the mouse like.
Yeah, you basically just described me. Like I used to spend far too many hours on paint,
zooming in,
yeah,
fixing your pixels,
and making your pen to be 1 pixel.
Yeah. And now they just have these like paint brushes and all sorts of cool stuff. My daughter does the digital, and she blows my mind.
Yeah, same. My daughter's the same. She's amazing. So after, you've gone through different kinds of mediums. Like, what ended up when did it make you choose painting as the main focus of your main medium of your life?
I love color. I love color. And if you use a pencil, you have to just to get a little space. But I learned if I get a paintbrush, I can cover like, wow, look at that pink and the blue. And I'm like, oh, I covered the whole canvas, and it dried. You mean I can layer it? I was like, this is amazing. Where people that do colored pencil and stuff, they are very structured, and they detail it and they draw it out. And I realized I'm not that. I was like, I want to see what it looks like.
That's cool.
My art is like me, impatient.
Well, with that, who are some of your artistic inspirations? Are there people or artists that you studied or that that influence your work?
Absolutely. So I know everybody's seen The Labyrinth, and you've seen like The Dark Crystal. And so I actually had this movie from the 80s. It's called Fairies. And Brian Freud does the art for it. And later on, I found out, he does all the art for Jim Henson. He does art for like a lot of books. The Hobbit, J.R. Tolkien, the original animation, like Dragon Smog. I don't know if you've seen the animated Hobbit, but the orcs and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my dad. I mean, not the orcs, but like the artwork.
Sure.
But yeah, I fell in love with his art style, and of course Tim Burton. Tim Burton was more my era, but he was the first one to make creepy cute for me. Like, they don't have to be adorable or beautiful. They can be like cool and creepy and still be beautiful. And I really like that. I'm a big believer in you can't have dark without light. So your art needs a little bit of both to give it depth.
Got it. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. In wanting to explore further, you have sort of I don't know if I want to call it categories of things you paint. Can you talk a little bit about, how do you decide what you paint, and what are some things that you love to work in terms of imagery?
So my favorite is when I get to let loose, and I sell those paintings usually cheaper because I got to just have complete creative flow. And those pieces are a lot of fun for me. I can just put music on and have like a really good time versus when I have to do a commission, which is like a challenge piece for me. And I think of it like art class when your teacher gives you an assignment and you want to do really well on it. So I love those pieces being an adult because I'm like, I need the challenge because on that, you'll never step out of your comfort. And I'm like, oh, wow, look what I can do. Like, okay, you want your dog on Godzilla's body? You got it.
Okay, now I know what my next painting's going to be.
But yeah, I like to paint surrealism. I like to paint bright colors. Like if you want your favorite tree in your backyard, but I want to do it in hot pink and rainbow, and I want it to glow in the black light. And when a light hits it, I want certain leaves to glow. Like I'm a little eccentric like that.
No, well, and it's a very unique thing. I think about in the video, there was a work you did recently, the mushrooms that apparently glow. Can you talk a little bit about that piece?
Oh, absolutely. That was it was one of my friends. She does where they decorate, what is it? A party organizer. So she just had these big canvases she used for the party, and she was like, I call them refurbished canvases. She was like, I don't need them anymore. She's like, do you want them? So it was atrocious what was on it, but I was like, yes, I'll take it. So I paint over it, and it just amazed me when I spray painted the neon and stuff. It started to glow, and then when I threw water on it, I don't know if you can tell, but it started dripping, and I was just like listening to Spangle and Radiohead, and I like those are my jams. Portishead, all the and I'm like, yeah.
Well, I'm curious, how does music play a role in inspiration?
Absolutely. I really do like listening to classical. I'll put on Mozart. I will put on older jam. If you play my playlist, you'll see like Encanto will come on all of a sudden. I'm like, we don't talk about Prune. It'll be like the Phantom of the Opera. I'm like, oh. I'm telling you, I just go through all sorts. Like my playlist has no bounds. I just call it the art playlist.
I love it.
That's pretty cool. And like I think it's unique that you have like all kinds of sorts of styles of music that you listen to and kind of different aspects of your art. So like if you could describe your style of art, like what would you describe your style of art as?
Badass. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I call it like surrealism. No matter what I paint, I feel like it just doesn't come out real. There's just something dreamy about it. Maybe like Lisa Frank, except I'm just not that bubblegummy. Comment I hear a lot lately, or not lately, but probably every time I have a show. And not everybody's gonna love my art, but they're like, "Oh, that's dark," and I'm like, "Thank you." I think. Thank you.
I would take this compliment, of course.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that some people interpret it really like bright. They're like, you're so bright and you're so colorful. And other people come up to me and they're like, you're so dark. And I'm like, well, I'm a Gemini. So, yes.
Yes.
I love it.
So,
well,
dark and light surrealism.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Social media plays a big role for you. You're on TikTok, and I hope you don't mind, but I invite people to find you.
Oh no,
because
absolutely.
your channel is phenomenal.
I invite you to invite them.
Tell me how much of a role does TikTok play in terms of your artwork? Because there's a variety of things there, but your art, you do a lot of TikToks of your process. Talk about social media, TikTok in particular, and how that how does that play into the role of your career as an artist?
So that it's really cool that you say that. I used to just think I was cool because I like to paint in a lot of color, and people thought they're like, wow, that's really bright. That's really, how did you pick that? And then when I started posting my TikToks, people were like, I had no idea. Like on my hyperlapses, they're like, that's how you paint. They're like, you literally painted out a whole girl and you thought it sucked. And then you covered it up. And then you started again in the middle of the hyperlapse. And I'm like, I didn't know that you did that. I thought you drew out your stuff. And I was like, no. I was like, I see a pretty picture and I like try to paint it. And if it doesn't come out, I blob it together. I don't draw it out. So it was really interesting because the feedback on the hyperlapses, or I like to play artists that I love that don't really get a lot of credit. And then people will message me and be like, who was that song? I really like this band. And I'm like, really? So I feel like it's like artists helping each other out. And there's a lot of really great artists on TikTok, musical artists, singing artists. And if I like their sound clips, I save it. And it's like their fans will see their singing video and my art. And then the next day I have like 20 new followers. I'm like, that's amazing. Like we're all just connecting on a vibe.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you said you've got a lot of different styles and everything, and inside you've got a lot of different feelings. The Gemini perspective. What is it inside you that you draw your inspiration from, or around you? I guess. Like what makes you want to paint? Like what puts you in that room with that canvas, that paintbrush in your hand?
So I am a stay-at-home mom and I have 3 girls. And I used to work a lot. And now that it's like more mental work dealing with 3 children with the different ages so young. And at the end of the day, mommy needs a break. And I'm just like, I used to have roller derby and I have my youngest. So it's just like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to lock myself in the paint room. And then my girls are now older where they're like, can we paint with you? So I'm like, yeah. So we put on music. I made them a little workstation and they're entertained. We're hanging out. We're listening to jams. And now it's like, I need to work. So I'm like, who wants to come to work? And now they're like, oh, sometimes they do and they don't, but they know that that's my time. So they trail off. And so I'm like, mommy's painting. And they're like, and I'm like, whoo. But now I'm like, okay, well, now that I said it, I'm going to do it. And then once the music starts going, it's my release. It's my therapy. It's like, I had a rough day. Na, 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 na. Or maybe I had a really good day and I'm like, I want to paint something beautiful because I'm in a good mood. Or, you know, some days you just want to paint a skeleton.
That's fair. That's fair.
Makes perfect sense. Well, with that in mind, what I'd like to do is I have 4 pieces of yours that I want to show and have you talk about. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And these are all very selfish choices. Okay, so I was first introduced to your work by my wife Jen because she commissioned you to do a portrait of my dog, Monkey. This kind of began sort of a sub journey that you and I are on, in that not only have you, because Monkey was still with us when I got this painting, but you also have really blessed us with memorial portraits. Talk about this painting and sort of some of the work you did within it, because the colors are so, for me at least, very important. Talk about the piece if you would.
So when you initially sent me the picture, I actually, it's interesting that you picked this one because I actually just took a test and it was like, how many colors do you see in this, picture? And it was like, if you see 10, do you see 30? And I saw 88 and I was like off the chart. And I was like, when people give me a commission, I don't know, I guess I look really into detail and I just saw so many colors in that picture when you sent it to me. And then I have a place in my heart for cheese, my chihuahuas. And I remember having so much fun painting that. You can even see it with the blue and the red and the yellow. Like I wanted to splash color everywhere because that's just the way I saw it. But I can already tell by the background I was probably listening to some Radiohead or something kind of dark.
That's cool. That's cool. I've always been curious because I still have the photograph that this is based on, and it's such a beautiful interpretation of the photo. And so, yeah.
I was like, I'd have to go back in my records, but I would love to see the comparison.
Yeah, I'll post it on my Facebook before the week is over. The next piece I have is this one. Talk about this piece.
Okay, so this one is actually kind of inspired by one of the girls that we skate with. I thought she was so interesting. She was a ballerina, and her mom kind of made her be a ballerina her whole life. And she was like, I don't want to. I want to break that mold. And she dyed her hair green and she got piercings and she wanted to skate. And now she teaches ballet and she's pursuing what she loves to do in a way that she likes to do it. And when she told me that, I just thought she was so cool. And I was like, I want to paint a ballerina. And somehow it turned into this. But that girl really inspired me for her.
I'm curious about the piece in that there's sort of the bottom half is a little grayer tones than the top half. Is that purposeful?
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like ballet is a beautiful thing, but it was killing her. And so it's like swallowing her up. And she wants to keep it beautiful. It's something that she does love, but something's made it dark. So it's killing her. And that's her like kind of finding her light. The colors around her and spiraling.
That's awesome.
That's how I was like feeling in the moment. But yes, that's why I say you can't have dark without light. It's a beautiful picture, but if you look at the meaning, it like you need that little bit of darkness to really appreciate what's going on.
Yeah. That's awesome. I fell in love with this one. I'm very proud of my Dallas Reams collection, by the way. Please talk about this painting.
Oh, thank God. I was hoping it was that one.
I love this so much.
So okay. I love ramen. I love ramen. And I've been wanting, I don't know how to say this one because it's funny, but also I know you knew Rabbit. And I absolutely love Rabbit. And I have been practicing painting different rabbits because I kind of want to do something as a memoir personally, like for me, for her. So I was messing around with it and I just started painting the cutest freaking bunny where I was like, I can't even make this dark or sad because I was going to make it all stitched, kind of like the ballerina vibe, something sad but colorful. But I was like, no, it's already a sad bunny. He's just stitched and he likes ramen. He wants to eat and he loves food. So he's like, I don't know, damaged but beautiful, and he doesn't care. He's just so happy. Or she, whatever you perceive.
I had a feeling that our friend Rabbit had inspired it, and when I first saw it, it was at one of your events, and it's like I told Susan, I'm like, I need that right now. So.
I was gonna say, I think I was there when that happened.
You were.
Too. It was a cute, and it made me sad because when I first started painting it, my husband was like, "Is it throwing up?" And I was like, "Oh." I was like, maybe I'll go in with a second coat and add some details then. He helps me out a lot. He's my worst critic, but he is also the most honest with me, where he is like, the eyes are uneven. And I'm like, no, it's not. You gotta tilt it. And he's like, I'm just telling you how I see it. And then I'm like, oh, so I go back and he's right. When I repaint it and I look at it, I'm like, okay, you're right. It was better. It was much better. And he's like, he's not cross-eyed anymore.
Nothing like strong honesty.
I need it. I don't like people to sugarcoat stuff for me. I'm all, tell me how it is.
Well, and that speaks a lot to your your maturity when it comes to this, because you it's very obvious from your color work and your line work, you put your heart into all of this.
I do. It's not about the price or anything. I am just so grateful that somebody likes my stuff enough that they want to hang it in their house. Like, it blows my mind every time. I can't even tell enough people that. I'm like, I remember drawing stuff in art class and the fact that people are like, can I have that? And I was like, yeah, sure. Here you go. And now I just like paying for whatever my supplies cost and probably a little bit of my time for my kids. But I try to keep them really affordable because of that. I just think art is, if you love it enough, it should be shared.
Yeah, absolutely. I have one more, and I'm just gonna give the floor over to you because here it is.
Ready. I love her. I love her. I saw a digital artist. I'm not gonna lie. I saw a digital artist and they made a Sailor Moon with just bright colors. And I loved it. And I mainly loved that they made her skin pink. So I took the idea and I was like, but I'm gonna paint it. And so I had to change a lot of stuff. And I feel like that picture, if you look at the tree behind it, it's huge. You can't even wrap your arms around it. That is a huge painting. I think 48 by 36. And I went with black light paint. I went with, if you zoom in, I mean, there's sprinkles, there's candy canes, there's peppermints. And I wish I would record my daughter's face when she saw it because she loves Sailor Moon and her face just dropped. And she's like, can I hang it in my room? And I was like, yes. She's my favorite right now. She's actually going to be my first print. People kept asking me at these shows, and I just love her so much that I'm going to make 30 prints only. I want to make a certificate. I'm going to hand sign them, and each one's going to have like something embossed on it separate. I want to make it very personal. And I want to see how that goes. I usually don't do prints because I'm like, I'm giving you the original for print price. But some people, they really want stickers and stuff. So I'm going to try. I'm going to branch out.
Gotcha.
Well, I was going to say, like, judging by just the comments here on our conversation, we've got probably got a few sales in the can.
Aw, that's amazing. I can't see the comments, but thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. We've got 2 or 3 people that say Sailor Moon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, me too. I was like ultimate love story. And I know everybody says it, but I just relate to Sailor Moon so much. She was always finding the best in people and explaining it and like bringing them out of their shell. And if anybody knows me, I love bringing people out of their shell. I believe you have one life and you should live the shit out of it.
I am with you on that.
Life lessons with Alice. So just a little bit ago, you talked about your daughters coming in and learning with you. So what kind of advice would you give, like someone who's just starting to get into painting?
Do it. Do it. And I tell people all the time, even people that are already artists, even if you're just doodling, if you're coloring, if you're just doing a chart, if you're coloring a coloring book, snap a picture. And I started with Instagram. I like that it kept it. And I just started posting what I was doing. And then somebody was like, that's cool. You've really gotten better. They're like, do you do a pet portrait? And even if you're selling or not selling, people want to see you progress. They're rooting for you. So just start. And I promise you, a year or 2 from now, you will see your growth. And it's really cool to go back to my Instagram. I will scroll back to my original. I'm like, I can't believe somebody paid for that. If you bring it, I'll fix it for you. Like, I'm my worst critic. I was like, oh, the hands were way too big. I want to call them up and be like, hey, do you want to redo? I'm so sorry I gave you that. But I'm a living girl and I'm getting better.
Yeah. Well, I have enjoyed getting some insight into not just you as an artist, but your work. It's one of those moments where the universe aligns and connects me with someone that you've done so many memorial portraits for us that I feel like you understand Jen and I, and the love we have for our pets, and it comes through in your paintings, and you do that with all your work, I think.
I was gonna say, after I paint a pet portrait, I look at that picture so long. So like when you and Jen post one of your pets, I'll be like, how do I know that dog? I was like, I would just see the dog's face. I didn't even see the name. And I will stop and I go back. And I do that on several occasions. It stays with you because it's something I focus on. And you're right. I put, so much passion into it. Like, I don't forget it. I'm like, I do remember that night. They're each very intimate.
Awesome. Susan, any other questions you have for our esteemed guest?
I do actually. So where can folks find you on social media to be able to connect to you and your work?
So I go by the Darling Rebel because it's my initials, and I felt like it was Texas, so the _ Darling Rebel. I didn't want people to know my name right away because then I was doing derby, and then people start to know you, and I have kids, and I'm like, ooh, it's getting too personal. But once they come up to me and they actually talk to me, I'll be like, I'm Dallas Reams, and then I know they've actually like talked with me. If that makes sense. So the _ Darling Rebel, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on TikTok, and Dallas Reams if you want me on Facebook, but I usually just add friends.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we will make sure that we continue to share your work over the next few days, and we'll encourage people to check out the video and get a chance to hear from you in case they couldn't be here live. So you're not going to escape without doing a sort of outside the art world conversation with us.
All right.
So you're gonna participate in two questions.
All right.
The first is going to be, what is your go-to snack, and in what colors or painting mediums would you paint it in?
My favorite go-to snack.
Yeah.
People are gonna laugh at me because it's nuts. I do. My friends make fun of me because I have walnuts, I have almonds, I have the sunflower seeds, dark chocolate almonds, and whenever I'm feeling hungry, I just like go. And I would have to. You said paint it, paint with it.
Yeah.
Paint
Would
with
you? Could you find a way to make art out of that?
I mean, I could. I would glue them all to the canvas, and use the different shapes to probably make like a face. I don't know if you've seen this guy. He goes to the beach and he makes faces out of pebbles. But I have a feeling I'd be like, the almonds are the eyes. There we go, Kitty. We got some sunflower kernels for the nostrils, and I'll just work my way with almonds. Little airbrush.
Well,
I'm like,
now I might commission that from you. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's do this.
What is it, the peanut guy? That would be cool too.
Yeah. There you go. I like that. All right. Final silly question. Okay. Let me see. Are pets? You have any?
Yes, I have 3 children. No, I'm just kidding. No, after I had pets, I was like, not until they're old enough to help me take care of them. I have a 9, 5, and 1-year-old, and no.
My question was going to be, so if you had, then I'll phrase it this way: is there a dream pet or a particular breed of either dog, cat, or other pet that you would be partial to?
So right now, our dream pet and the girls, what we want is something kind of weird. So a squirrel, a possum, or they said a talking bird. And I've seen the talking bird videos, and those kind of freak me out.
I was, yeah.
You see it too? The one lady is like, she's like, "You're hurting me." He's like, "Come here, I won't hurt you." I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
We'll take the possum.
Well,
I mean, I've been trying to convince my husband that I want a pet possum. So
no rabies. I hear they're super clean. I'm like, why not?
I might have one for you. We have one that's been visiting our house. We catch him on our little pet cam. So.
He's like, "Here you go, this for a painting." I'm like, "All right."
That's awesome. I'll be thinking about that.
I was gonna say, so we don't exchange money anymore. We just exchange possums for paintings.
I'm a barterer. What do you got? Some crochet for a painting?
I happen to have a possum.
I'll take it.
That's awesome. Well, Dallas, I can't thank you enough for the time you spent with us this evening. I'm glad that we got the chance to do this, and thank you again for taking time from your family to be with us. And just thank you so much for sharing your passion with us. It's really amazing to hear.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you inviting me. Like, this is so cool. I was super nervous, but you guys made it super relaxing and like fun, and I love the weird questions.
Awesome.
Amazing. You were amazing. Thank you for being with us.
Indeed. All right. Well, we've been talking with Dallas Reams, artist. Make sure you look for her on social media, _Darling Rebel. Dallas, you're always welcome, and we hope to see you again in the future.
Yes, I'm sure I will see you soon.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right. Wow. What an amazing chance to get into the mind of an artist. I mean, this was, even more awesome than I knew it would be.
Yeah, she's incredible. Like I have three of her paintings. And I think I've known her like maybe a year. Through you, obviously. And I have a big painting that I think it's like 3 feet by 4 feet also, 36 by 48. And it is an amalgamation of video game characters, and it's pink and it's bubbly and it's sparkly and it's got little gemstones on it, y'all. It's incredible art. Like, there are no words to describe it. And you see it in person and it's just like, wow, where do I look? Like, there's so much to see, and it's so detailed, but at the same time, like, just a giant broad picture that connects together. So definitely check her out. She's
no, definitely. And you can find her on Instagram. She has so much of her work there posted. Definitely on TikTok. She does some amazing hyperlapses of her work. And she's also quite funny on her other TikTok work. I'm excited because very soon I'll be picking up my next piece, which is going to be a really cool little portrait of a chipmunk. So I'm excited for my Dallas Reams collection to grow. So you find an artist and you like them, and I'm like, I want that one, and I want that one, and I want that one. So
it's funny you say that, because I haven't, like you said, you find an artist and then you just go over and over again and get more pieces. I have a tattoo artist that I do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I was just about to say that they're one of the biggest debates I'm having in my head, and I'm going to talk to her about it. Is I want at least one of her pieces as a tattoo. So just a matter of deciding which one it's going to be. So
that ramen bunny, so perfect.
Oh yeah, I know. That's literally probably the top choice right now. But so many great pieces. She works in so many different. The painting medium has so much variety in it when you look at her work in terms of what colors she uses and how, what style she uses. And so, I have everything from the memorial portraits of several of our pets to Janine. Stop me in my tracks. Sailor Moon on your back. No thanks.
+1 vote. +1 vote.
Oh man, too bad my back's already done. But no, and she goes from some, from really, those inspired original images to I've got 2 great pieces that are based on the Joker from the original, the original Michael Keaton Batman movie, and also Catwoman from the sequel. And so there's such a wide range to her art, and yet there's still that you can sense that spirit of her heart within all of her work. And so it's great to get into the mind of an artist and learn what they were thinking as they did their work. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it helps that she's just really sweet and personable and open to talking about her process. That was very awesome.
Absolutely. Well, we have quite a guest list at our fingertips, and so Susan, I know I'm very excited about what the next several weeks holds, as we, on occasion, our plan is to have guests and just kind of keep the show rolling forward.
I think it's going to be great to get to know folks and expand with our audience. Say, hey, these are our friends. Make them your friends too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank all of you who've been in the chat with us tonight. Anytime we have a guest, of course, our focus is completely on them. But we want to say thank you to everyone who's commented and visited the show tonight. As always, thank you to Janine, Drew. We know her as Rihanna, Carrie's there, Captain Sparkle Pants, Cullen. People are going to know who y'all are now. I feel like we're giving away the secret identities of our gang.
Of our alter ego, their alter egos, is that what you mean?
Yeah. But thank you all so much for making the jump with us here on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you are watching us. If you are watching us on Facebook, please make sure you jump over to the A Few Minutes With page and give us a like. Thank you to so many people who've liked that page in just the last 24 hours. We also want to say thank you to those of you who are watching us on YouTube. Please don't forget, click that subscribe button. Make sure you click the notification bell so that if you miss the live broadcast, you're going to know exactly when it posts so that you can catch up on it week to week and just continue to grow with us. Susan, I'm excited about the future and what all is on its way.
It's amazing. I love the way that this project keeps growing and evolving, and it keeps me on my toes, and I love it.
Absolutely. We're always going to have cool stuff to talk about. Next week, we will be doing a special Lord of the Rings based episode. I'm excited about that because we're also going to talk about a place called Hobbit Cafe. And that's all I'll say right now. But we have something we're going to do something crazy this weekend.
Sorry.
No, I was throwing to you.
Oh, yes, we are. Sorry, I was thought you were stop because I was teasing you about stumbling over your words there. We have a whirlwind trip planned. We are going to less than 24 hours fly to Kansas City, hang out in Kansas City, have some delicious barbecue. Is it good as Texas? We'll find out. And then we're going to go to a concert. We're going to see Ed Sheeran in concert. And then we're going to sleep and get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and fly back.
I don't think sleep's going to be possible, but
I don't think sleep's going to be possible.
Yeah, we literally have a 6:30 flight coming back from KC, landing in Austin at 8:30 in the morning. So
yes,
whirlwind.
Yes. So what's going to happen is we're going to land. I'm going to go to my car, crawl in the back seat, and take a little nappy nap. And just call it good. But yeah, no, less than 24 hours because our flight out of Austin leaves at 10:30 ish.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've always I've recently become a fan of the music of Ed Sheeran. And so we're gonna fly quick flight on Saturday to go be at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Watch Ed Sheeran perform. His setup is amazing. And then by the time we get out of the parking lot, it's probably time to go to the airport. So
I know we just sleep on the floor in the airport.
Early flight. That is pretty much the plan. So, but yeah, so we'll have more to talk on that adventure next week. Lord of the Rings. If you have ideas that you want to share with us about future conversation points for discussions, please make sure you comment on this video. Make sure you comment on our Facebook page, wherever it may be that you watch us. We want to hear from our audience because you are as much a part of this process as anyone or anything else. We're also going to have a very special announcement next week because our project is actually growing. So next week, big news as we introduce a new member of the staff. So more to come on that.
We have staff.
Not the infection. All right. So with that, Susan, it's been fun. Thank you so much. We do have a TikTok of the week, so let's do that before we go. If you guys like cute stuff, then this is definitely for y'all. Here's this week's TikTok of the week.
He's a sweet baby. I love him so much.
Oh my goodness. It's the TikTok channel is called Ivy Pets, IVI Pets. And it's absolutely adorable. And I don't care how many different times they filmed this dog getting pampered and his sibling.
Yes.
I will always watch those videos. So
100%.
fantastic. 100%. All right. Once again, to all of you out there, thank you so much for joining us this week. We look forward to being back with you next week. In the meantime, Susan, as always, thanks for being awesome. Look forward to doing this again next week.
I'm happy. I'm happy to be awesome anytime. Thank you for being awesome. This is all your idea, and we're here because of you. Stop. Keep
stop
going.
it. Stop it.
There you go. That's you.
All right.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Indeed. From both Susan and I here, we say thank you again to all of you. We love you tremendously. Love one another. Love yourself, and always take good care of each other. Remember, you're awesome. You're amazing. And the world's a better place because you are in it. We'll see you next week on A Few Minutes With. Good night, everybody.